Hello everyone, you're welcome to this news on Equinoxe television live from my headquarters in Cameroon's economic heart at Douala. I am Bable Jonathan. In our top stories in this edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast. Close to 6 years of fighting, killing, destruction, abduction in the northwest region of the Republic of Cameroon has left several villages still deserted today. Menji, headquarters of the Libyalem division in the southwest region of the country, is one of those localities badly hit which remains deserted today as a result of the armed conflict, and the inhabitants of that village in the southwest region are now working in view of restoring peace and normalcy within their community and contributing to the restoration of peace and normalcy across the two Anglophone regions of the country. And the northwest region in particular, farmers are paying a huge price, with loss incurred in business amounting to millions of francs CFA as a result of the continuous increase in prices and the armed conflict going on for close to 6 years. Today, the governor of the littoral region of the Republic of Cameroon, Samuel Dieudonné Bahatiba, once more calls on the population of his area of command, and particularly the country's economic capital, Douala, to be more vigilant. He was speaking to the press today after the liberation of Dr. Disongo Jockey Olivia, who was kidnapped. Details coming up next. We begin this newscast in Menji, headquarters of the Libyalem division, southwest region of the Republic of Cameroon. It is one of the localities in Anglophone Cameroon that are still deserted to date after close to 6 years of armed conflict, gun battles, killing, destruction, and of course abduction and kidnapping of persons in the northwest and southwest regions of the Republic. And the inhabitants of Menji, the people of Menji, are now strategizing on how to restore peace and normalcy in that part of the southwest region and contributing to the efforts to restore peace and normalcy across Anglophone Cameroon. Derijato has more.
The three subdivisions that make up Menji, the divisional headquarters of Libyalem division, are today meeting in Boya for the first time in 5 years to see how to build and bring back peace in Menji.
For the very first time in history that we see the entire subdivisions made up of 3 fondoms, each and every member who was invited answered present. But for the fact that network has disturbed us a lot to get the few participants, but out of 75 people that we invited, 69 answered present.
They say what is present in Menji today is a deserted subdivision full of fear, threat, and uncertainty, as the activities of separatist fighters still dictate the pace of events here.
We discovered that almost all places that have been affected by the crisis, life is going on almost normally, but ours is dead. There is no way to go in and come out freely. Most of our development projects cannot be executed. Yet the state is pumping in a lot. Our sons and daughters in the diaspora have a lot of initiatives to bring in development activities. It became necessary that we come together as people who have the same mind, they have the same vision, they have the same origin, to confront each other and see how we can make pathways for peace and reconstruction to come in.
To these organizers, the time has come to face everything and everyone squarely.
After this session, we will have multiple sessions. Even if it means getting to the diaspora, even if it means getting to the bushes and discuss with those boys, the time is now, and we are going to do that.
The 3 fondoms of Menji has today come to the end of this beginning, which is not the beginning of the end of this peace campaign to bring back the identity of once touristic Menji, famous for its 7 hills.
And all sons and daughters of the Indian division are heading back home to discuss the restoration of peace within that part of the southwest region and the rest of Anglophone Cameroon. They are coming together to strategize, to discuss, and to see what can be done as a matter of urgency to restore peace and normalcy, not only in the Indian division, but in the northwest and southwest regions of the country, the two English-speaking regions hit by violence for close to 6 years today. Derek Chato finds in details.
Sons and daughters from Indian division will be coming together for 2 days this weekend in Mundimba, the divisional headquarters of the said division, for one thing, to strategize for the return of peace. Indian division has been punctured from many fronts. Economically, the palm plantation, which is everything to Indian man, is down. On a socio-political note, politicians, traditional rulers, administrative authorities, students, children, civilians, and the forces of law and order have been assassinated here. And the bigger worry is that these atrocities have been consistent. Thus, the Made in All Indian Conference will be expected not only to stop this destruction and bloodshed in this oil-rich division, but to work out things in such a way that the mess should not appear again in the nearest or distant future. And to succeed, critics say to begin with, these Indian sons and daughters must be sincere to themselves and with each other, and maybe need to be reminded that it is for the interest of Indian division they inherited from their forefathers, and not for their personal interests. And to those using the crisis to feed fat should be brought to justice. Many say it is now an open secret that the separatist fighters, perpetrators of all these atrocities who themselves have claimed responsibility, are known by many here by name and by face, which means that the question of who to talk to has already been answered.
And the crisis is crumbling business for farmers in the northwest region of the Republic of Cameroon, especially those in the livestock sector who are now unable to do business as usual because of the 6-year long-arm conflict. Added to that, the continuous increase in prices of basic commodities and other ingredients, inputs that they need for their activities. And of course, this is causing them to be struggling to meet up with their investments, and they are incurring loss in millions of francs CFA. Stella reports from Bamenda.
For months now, Cameroonians have been lamenting the increase of price of goods in the market. The price of livestock and products have also increased, thereby increasing the cost of living. At the cattle market in Bamenda, traders in cattle blame the high price on beef on the now 6 years conflict in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon.
The cows are very, very expensive comparatively to last year. We don't know because some of the car owners, they said they had a lot of misunderstanding on the road with the Amber boys or the uniform people. They were giving a lot of monies both sides. And means of also bringing the cars up from home and so on was very difficult for them.
We're sorry for the abrupt end of that report. They shall be coming back to that in subsequent news editions. The governor of the littoral region of the Republic of Cameroon speaks to the press about the liberation of Dr. Disongo Jockey Olivia, who was abducted recently here in Cameroon's economic capital Douala, and the governor has highlighted the efforts of forces of law and order who fought hard to get her liberated after the alleged kidnappers did everything they could to blur the tracks that could be used by the security forces to liberate the doctor. Now, this is what the governor told the press about this today.
The littoral region as a whole, and Douala in particular, on the day of April the 8th, we got an information that Dr. Disongo Olivia has been kidnapped and we will just give the information to our policemen and gendarmes who have just begun to look for this lady. And after 4 days, the 11th of April, they've got the good information when to collect this lady in one apartment here in Bonapriso, Douala. But it was very, very hard for our policemen to work with some conditions that only them have the secrets. They've worked very well, and they bring back this lady. And I want to say that it's not a kind of arrangement, as people are saying, because if she was willing to have this arrangement, how can they go and go with sexual intercourse with her? And we can say it's not easy to admit like that. But we want to congratulate our policemen that have worked very hard, and professionalism was around, and that's why we got back this lady.
That's the governor of the Littoral region, Samuel Dedone Vahadiboa, speaking there. And the governor called on the population of his area of command, in particularly city dwellers of the country's economic capital, Douala, to be more vigilant in order not to fall into the trap in which Dr. Disongo Jockey Olivia fell in. And of course, he was speaking today after the liberation of the doctor from the hands of the alleged kidnappers. Take a listen to the governor.
You to also cooperate with our gendarmes and policemen whenever you have a case of this one. And you see that this lady has worked very well. Somebody was in the hospital and recovered from the illness, and the parents of that patient just asked the phone number of this lady, and that's why when he went back a day or 2 days after, give a call to her saying that it was Dr. Sanjon who is proposing her a new post of work. So she went, but unfortunately didn't reach the point and have been kidnapped. And I want you to be very viable, to be vigilant, and to also cooperate, to give good information, and don't go at a place where you are not sure that people that are calling you are the one. So every time be sure that when you have somebody who is calling you, you can remind the way he's speaking or the suggestion that is giving you, and to be very, very careful of this kind of joke.
Now to the west region of the Republic of Cameroon, security forces are stepping up the fight against illegal business, notably the cultivation and sale of cannabis, which seems to be a business that seems to be prospering in that part of the country. And the security officials in that part of the country have intercepted an important consignment of cannabis. We have details in this report by Makule Fowe.
8 bags of cassava with cannabis inside, intercepted by elements of the Regional Public Security Circulation Unit. The cannabis harvested in the Noon Division was en route for Bavusam in the West region. According to the commander, the huge stock was dismantled thanks to a tip-off. On the 14th of this month, we were informed of the arrival of an important stock of cannabis from the Noon Division. So we began our search operation. The person who was in charge of distributing the product is on the run. This It's not the first time that the police is able to track such a huge consignment of cannabis. The population salutes their efforts in tracking all those involved in illegal practices. Cannabis is harvested during this period, and many of them trick us by using corn flour to hide the cannabis inside. So I am calling my colleagues to be vigilant by carrying out systematic checks. The driver who was transporting the cannabis has been arrested, but the sender and the distributor of the cannabis are on the run.
Inhabitants of Nkozwa, on the outskirts of the nation's political capital, Yaoundé, are calling on the government to finish the work they started during the before the Africa Cup of Nations and the access road leading to the stadium, which the government promised to complete the construction. Nothing has been done there. The government had promised to finish the construction works on the access road passing through that locality to the Olembe Stadium, but nothing has been done till now. It is with Magic and Gabriel.
Near the Olembe Stadium in Yaoundé, towards the north entrance from Nkozwa, a native could be spotted transporting a wheelbarrow on his head. This is after he had removed the content after the deadly stampede at the Olembe Stadium during the AFCON. The government rapidly opened other access ways into the Olembe Stadium. Government promised to finish the work after the AFCON.
This road was supposed to be putting quota in this road, as how the people come and promised us. And what they have put, like these plastic rubbers that they have put, is too small for the water. It's too small for the water.
It is more than 2 months since the Africa Cup of Nations finished in Cameroon, but work is still to start, and the bridge has even collapsed as a result of pressure from water. According to the development committee, the hub city, Olembe Nkozwa, it was a secondary road to get to the north end of the Olembe Stadium. The main road that was supposed to be tarred is in a poor state. The population, who were already happy when the road was graded and the zone electrified, are now disappointed because after the Africa Cup of Nations, no single equipment is at the zone. Their joy has turned into sadness because the population are now even afraid with the start of the rain. The road might be destroyed.
We are begging for government to help us. That what they have already done, they have taken. It's a good job. But for the moment, if they allow it like this, the water can come and bring somebody, and we are only pleading with the government that they should help us and fix us a bridge. When they are fixing the bridge, they should help us and put quota, because this route is the route that carrying people from Nkozwa, Etudi, Nguso. This is the main route that people always use.
At the south entrance of the Olembe Stadium, the situation is similar. Without any work being done, ground was thrown on a bridge. The bridge has now become a waste disposal spot. The population are now thinking that the work which was done by the government was just to save their face in front of the officials of the Confederation of African Football.
Now to Lom in the Mongo Division, Littoral Region of the Republic of Cameroon, as it takes a look at the adverse consequences of inadequate electric energy supply on business and livelihood. His report.
Continue to pile up at the markets and roadsides within the city of Bamenda. After Equinoxe Television placed a call to the garbage disposal company requesting an interview on the garbage situation within the city of Bamenda, this Wednesday a front head loader and a truck were spotted with workers emptying the can but leaving the environment filthy.
We will sell for here, we will not get place to say, when council don't reduce them, so we now for clean and for get space for sell. Because first time we will sell inside there. Since we council can't build this thing for here, we will not be get access to the sell inside there. So we will sell up for sell corner the road. Since the dirty plenty, we will not be able to sell inside the dirty, we will shift corner for road. Now when council don't reduce of carry, we'll come back see how we feel manage for this. And while we see we will clean the dirty.
As the workers proceeded to Tarinkon, they were attacked by gunmen at a garbage site located at the Tarinkon market. This truck and caterpillar have been abandoned at the site of the attack. As of Tuesday, April 19th, traders at the Bamenda food market say they have devised other means to prevent themselves from the effects of the stench of the decomposing waste.
Did they I get it to 1 month something now? You say I don't buy a paper, try to cover the dirty, but still yet, no nothing. And to move this outside, customer no agree for come back. As a Sunday of a shine, so with the put face mask, but you the put face mask, so you still hear the order. Every day we must carry car for work and say, we don't fish don't go corner it. Joe only this small person will show we just decide say more gather money. You see the paper then so now more than 10,000 that on top the way we will donate only for this small place for gather whether we feel manage.
Equinoxe Television is informed that in March, a worker of the waste disposal company was shot on the leg by suspected separatist fighters while on duty at the Old Simplicity in the Tarinkon neighborhood. The worker, whose only name we got as Samuel, is responding to treatment. The waste disposal company has made no official statement as to why garbage has been left to litter the city of Bamenda. These piles of waste within the city now act like monuments, each with its own shape, dripping out stinky liquids and maggots. The sites have now become breeding grounds for air pollution, water and food contamination. These are detrimental to the well-being of the inhabitants.
Mostella reporting there about the deplorable hygienic state of the town of Bamenda in the northwest region of the Republic of Cameroon. Now back to Lum in the Mongo Division, littoral region of the Republic of Cameroon, where Innocent as it takes a look at the adverse consequences of inadequate electric energy supply on business and livelihood. His report.
An idle food grinding machine, a carpenter on a premature breath, unstable electricity supply in Lum Mongo Division of the littoral region accounts for this. Many business persons are adversely affected.
We are so confused about the issue of light. Since morning we are not even working because of light. Every day that they are only cutting light. We don't know how to do. You can see if the plant that I have bought. Normally we supposed to play them today because I have almost about 5 commands of different cupboards, chairs, so I don't know how to do it because my customers that are disturbing me, I'm so confused. I have more than 3 customers that since morning they were here, they disturbed, they said they will not give me work again.
The abrupt power cuts and high voltage destroy machines and electronics, they say.
Souvent ça vient faiblement, très faible là.
When light goes off with a plank in the machine, the machine is brutalized, thereby harming the engine.
Ça grille le moteur.
On peut le constater.
As you can see, I am just from losing a computer because of high voltage.
Et quand c'est revenu là, j'ai perdu mon serveur. Le serveur a lâché.
Households are not also left out of this misery.
La nuit, c'est la même chose.
Even at night, there is power outage, compelling us to abandon the house to heat, just to have some fresh air outside. My son is trying to catch up with his lessons. He was unable to study at night. That she was forced to prepare jollof rice for her children because there was no electricity to grind the cocky beans she had programmed. Some hustlers have their generators on standby. This saves them from work accumulation and conflicts with customers. Others, like carpenters, tailors and seamstresses, are compelled to do their jobs manually, as they say is strenuous and time-consuming. Only officials of the electricity production and distribution company, they say, can remedy the present issue timely enough.
And in such circumstances, the general tendency has been to throw the blame, or better still, the whole blame, on the electricity distribution company, ENEO. But what ENEO officials want all Cameroonians to know is that it is not the only actor in the supply of electricity across the country. It is, however, according to the new officials, not a blame game. Neither is it a blame game nor a justification game, but the reality on the ground is that there are several actors who are involved in the supply of electric energy in the Republic of Cameroon, including Sonatrel in charge of distribution, and of course the Ministry of Energy and Water Resources and other actors who are involved. This goes a long way to highlight issues that are often at the origin of such situations of inadequate electric energy supply. These are some of the things that new officials were explaining to journalists today at the headquarters of the company here in Cameroon's economic camp at Douala, and this was during a meeting, a workshop, and of course the new officials were explaining to the journalists how electricity supply in the Republic of Cameroon is done, and of course they were explaining a lot of technical issues there for a better understanding of the electricity supply chain in the Republic of Cameroon and the actors who are involved, and of course the tariffs and how all of this is decided and executed on the ground. Now take a listen to one of the officials of ENEO.
The objective we're actually following by organizing this, let's call it a seminar between ENEO and the journalists that you are. We are in our own way contributing to providing you with the right information on what goes on in the sector. And if you remember, there was a press conference organized by the minister himself, and at the end of the conference he urged communications departments of the various actors to liaise with the press to give them more further information when it comes to the activities, and that's what we at ENEO are doing right now. And you're asking a question about 1.7 million customers
as compared to 25 million Cameroonians.
We can look at it from two ways. The first way is when we talk about 1.7, we're not talking about 1.7 million individuals, right? We're talking about 1.7 million households. And if we consider every household to have around 6 to 7 people, that already gives you the number of individuals per se. The other way we can look at that is electricity fraud. That's taking a serious toll on the sector's activity. So we think we have many people out there who are consuming electricity and who are not customers. So you understand why ENEO is out there. This campaign to fight against fraud, campaigning to get people to become legal, customers, and there's a lot of work to be done.
Now in sports, we go back to the Elite One Championship encounter between Unisport of Onkam, or the Upper Cam division in the West region of the Republic of Cameroon, and Ngaoundéré FC, 4 goals to nothing. Details with Malaglory.
It was a total celebration for Unisport of the Onkam division in the West region of the country. The team picked up the most interesting win of Ngaoundéré FC with 4 goals to 0 during the second encounter of Elite 2 Championship. Over 3,000 spectators from far and near gathered at the Kuala Kuala Gaston Stade of Bafang to watch the game.
Cet après-midi, félicitations et on est fiers. Voilà. Un grand merci parce que le public a honoré de sa présence pour la première en Nord-Thune à Bafang.
Ngaoundéré FC on his part salutes the victory of its opponents while feeling disappointed for their loss.
Féliciter l'équipe du Onkam, qui est une très belle équipe, une équipe expérimentée. Et je pense que de notre côté, ce qui n'a pas marché, c'est que nous avons affaire à beaucoup de jeunes. Malgré cette 4e défaite, je pense.
To be able to watch the match, it was a real struggle for football lovers of Onkam, which to them, it is a great experience. Since the launching of the Elite 2 Championship, the West Regional League officials are putting in all their best to win the hearts of its supporters.
Well, that's it for today. Thank you for staying with us. Goodbye.